This is a stretch for hamstrings and lower back. We're going to start with a little bit of a test, forward fold, to see how low to the ground you get in a forward fold without forcing anything. And then from there, we'll do the actual stretch for 2 minutes. And then after that, we'll test again. So make sure you're not forcing anything, you're just seeing where you're at. And I'll get started. I'm going to put a timer for our stretch. Actually, let me stop that. We'll come back and do a timer after the test. So let's just see, with feet hip width apart, how low can you go into a forward fold? Some people tend to be a little bit higher. If you are a little higher, are you close to the knees or are you further down by the ankles? And some of you might be able to actually go all the way down. Just make sure you're not forcing anything, and also you're keeping the legs lengthened so you're not bending knees in order to get down. Okay, so that's the test. I am going to set a timer for us to get going so that we can hold a static pose. So walk your feet a little bit closer than hip width apart, and then you're going to bend elbows and hug around the back of knees. And then see if you can allow the chest to come right up against the thighs. And you have a bend in the knees for right now. You're going to slowly start to straighten the legs. And make sure your chest stays up against the thighs. Now, if you feel like you straightened the legs and the chest moved away, soften the knees a little bit. Bring the chest back close to the thighs. And then you're just going to hold and breathe here. I'll be occasionally checking the time to see if we're getting close to that 2-minute mark. Now, the reason we go for 2 minutes is at about 1:45 is when your nervous system starts to communicate to the body that you're in a safe place, you're not trying to hurt yourself in any way. So initially when you bend over, the nervous system is bracing itself because your body is wired to prevent injury. But after holding for a while and not really doing any movement, then the nervous system starts to communicate to the muscles that you're okay. At that point, your muscles start to relax and lengthen. So there's not that tension that you usually would have when you first fold over. So the last 15 seconds is really when the fullness of the stretch happens. Now, if you feel like you need to back away from this before I say come up, feel free to come slowly up, meaning you're going to place your hands to the shins and come maybe halfway up just to catch your breath or whatever break you need, and then see if you can fold again. If it's too long of a hold for you, it's fine to take a break. But over time, you want to try to be in the static position for about 2 minutes. So if you were doing this alone, you can put your timer right next to the feet so you can occasionally glance at the timer to see how much time has gone by. And I think we're already at past 2 minutes. So for now, we're gonna then allow the arms to release down next to the feet, soften at the knees, and then slowly place your hands to your shins and come halfway up. So you're sending your chest forward, your hips back, and then slowly soften the knees and slowly come up to standing. Roll shoulders up, back and down a few times. Make sure that you're not feeling dizzy or anything like that. Then bring those feet to about hip width apart again. And now we're going to test that final test. So we're looking to see if we generated a little more flexibility. So allow yourself to fold down and notice. Now, if you're usually very flexible to a point where maybe your knuckles were already on the floor, see if maybe your wrist now is getting to the floor. See if maybe your elbows have a softening, a bending. that allows you to get lower to the ground. So both those would be a sign that you moved a little closer to the floor. So just noticing that. When you're ready, slowly make your way up again. And that's it for the stretch. Let me know what you think.